Alright. Alright. So, previously, the group of you have been traipsing around the desert city of Akkad. You've been dealing with some strange individuals, beholden to a faction known as the Order of Whelm. You picked up a job to help clear out a particular branch of one of the mines beneath the plateau that the city rests upon. And you discovered information and the esoteric lore of a creature known as a deep dragon that likely lived beneath the city and was responsible, due to its regional effects, for Akkad's continued flourishment. You delved down, worried that these strange draconian creatures that you had fought in the mines previously had some degree of malicious intent. You plunged to depths beneath the mines themselves and fought a series of strange draconian entities that had violent arcane endings upon their demise. And battled more humanoid-looking individuals that possessed some degree of strange magical powers. Thoughts were had of escaping through the helm that Dunnan carries and getting a chance to rest, but Dunnan felt a drive and need to press forward. And as the keeper of the Helm of Teleportation, that's what happened. You made your way through poisonous gases and into a large room where what you had initially thought was a massive pile of boulders turned out to be a sleeping deep dragon of gargantuan size, covered in rocky-like scales, protrusions of fungi and molds and mosses, clearly sleeping. Within this space, you fought a conjured aspect of Greklork, a mound of ooze. Looked like raspberry jam, as we've come to say. That was particularly vicious with its ability to try to rip memories away from you. During this fight, you learned that it gained the had the capability to spawn additional humanoids, seemingly of itself, that upon their formation looked like any average person. These persons are those whom you fought in the rest of the region leading up to this point, through parts of your journeys, and from what Finian Finch described, was also fought in the Library of Akkad. You now know the source. You dispatched this individual along with something known as a mind breaker, an offshoot of this creature that seemed to take some degree of illithid form. The Mindbreaker carried an item of particular interest to your resident member of the Order of the Iron Fang, Aeolus, who, upon approaching the little remains of the Mindbreaker upon its death, the crystalline rod that he carries, Vergasiv, snapped through it midair and connected these two different parts of a rod together. He carries now slightly more power thanks to such an event. The group of you escaped, ready to rest. Up to Rook's Meat Hall, up to a warm meal, a cold pint, and the town on fire. With probably a few groans and grumbles, you saw fit to try to help. Dashed around the city, put out fires, trying to find out what was causing these things, as they appeared random. They weren't spreading from structure to structure. They were popping up out of nowhere. Spontaneous immolation tends to be the work of magic, and Jaya was able to track down 3 individuals that seemed to be chanting in front of a building moments before it went up in flame. An elven gentleman with a waxed mustache and goatee, older. A dwarven woman with reddish hair and... well, actually you didn't get the color because it was dark. You're in dark vision. With hair. She wasn't bald. And runic tattoos upon her face. And a tabaxi gentleman. These 3 individuals were wandering through the upper district, the northern district. Chanted for about a minute, and another building went up in flame. The group of you realized, partway through these encounters, that the only buildings that were catching fire were those that did not bear the symbol of the Order of Whelm. You've now rested. Finally. Back at Rook's Meat Hall, you've recovered and have awoken. Late in the afternoon, with, I believe it was the intention to make a run back to Elderthorn and touch base with Kelpip, Jaya's old mentor.
Let's go.
The day is yours.
Are we ready to head back?
You are all long rested. You've all finished your milestone, I believe, as well, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Perfect.
So the plan is to get back, report, and then come back here, or what?
I think so, yep. Because we still have a few more things we wanted to check up here, but I'm sure the watch will have some updates and whatnot. Who knows what we'll find when we get back in town.
What
And my
updates are
armor.
you hoping to get from the watch? About Akkad.
I was just going to tell them what happened so far. That was it. But if that's not necessary, we don't have to do that.
The watch has no business in Akkad. Remember,
Well, they're the ones who told us to go investigate, right? So
Storm Surge was the one who told you to investigate.
Oh, yeah,
You're not
that's
here
what
as a member of Blackburn Watch.
yeah. So I would like to speak to Storm Surge specifically, not the
This is
watch.
Not something that you go bandying about to any member.
Yeah. I definitely meant just Storm Surge in particular.
Aeolus, by my track, I believe it is the 7th of Oktar. You have 3 days to pick up, correct?
Let me look at my notes. Yes. 3 days left.
So yeah, back to Elderthorn.
Alright. And I'll, I guess, charge the helm and think of the Faded Gate in Elderthorn.
Okay. I'll leave there. With a familiar squeezing sensation. And like all your roll me intelligence saving throws.
Cool.
You are technically all within range of Dunnan, because you have to be for the helm. So you all get his bonus of 4, is it Dunnan, or 5?
10 feet.
No. What's your charisma modifier?
5.
5.
Okay.
Okay. So 18, 17, 26. Jaya. Intelligence is your thing. 17, 16. Well.
I told you. I don't know how I managed to piss off the Roll20 gods, but I have. And they hate me.
That's okay. I'm in the
Every
same
game.
boat.
What have we done, Sam?
Um,
I don't know.
I plead the fifth.
That only works when you're not being asked directly about something that you are guilty of. It's when there's a secondary crime.
All of you have been exposed to my characters. What have I done wrong?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
So the crime is dungeon indecency. You all feel this clawing drag on your consciousness as the teleport squeezes around you. That familiar pressure on your bodies in all directions at once feels like you're being sealed inside of a vacuum. And then it releases. You no longer feel the presence on your minds. It is most assuredly different from other times that you've teleported. Other times that you've traveled by means other than walking, shall I say. Anytime you use magical transposition.
Is it possible to try to focus on this feeling at all?
Make me an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
No, it's like trying to grab smoke. It vanishes as quickly as it appears. None of you feel any particular lingering effects of any type. And with a thud, you sort of settle in the sort of half-inch, quarter-inch drop back into Elderthorn. And I believe you said the Faded Gate Inn, correct, Dylan?
In front, yeah.
Okay. Into the small dirt. It is dusk at this point. The street lanterns have been lit. There's a few sounds of small revelry coming from inside the Faded Gate. Typical evening. Which is yours? What would you like to do? Where are you interested in going?
I think Calpips is going to be closed now, correct?
You can check. Kelpip keeps weird hours. You're not sure.
I think we should go check on Kelpip.
Yeah.
I agree.
Off you go. To the establishment. Alright. One moment.
When we land back in Elderthorn, can I try and calculate exactly the time difference between Akkad and Elderthorn?
Sure. Make me...
I can maybe...
You have cartographer's tools, right?
Yeah, I do.
Make me a cartographer's tools check with
Okay.
intelligence. I think intelligence should be the one.
It's a 14.
14. I'm on a different tab. Not quite high enough. You recognize immediately that there is a difference. You're not blind to that fact. You're not quite sure exactly how much it is. You suspect the range is maybe an hour
At the very least,
to
is
3
Akkad-
at most.
At the very least, can I tell if like Akkad is forward or behind Elderthorn?
Akkad would be
Oh, like,
behind.
behind,
It
yeah.
was still light out when you left Akkad, and now it's
Okay.
dusk.
Alright.
Yeah. So, you did wake up later in the afternoon because you long rested basically right after dawn. So, varies. Jaya, this is your first time in Elderthorn. As you are led through the streets, you see off to the... We lost someone. We lost Kim. As you are led through the streets, across a bridge of a fairly forceful river that flows out into a wide bay off to your south. And then you turn northwards. Off to your right, which would be east, you see a massive cliff of climbing in the distance as it gets further and further away from you, to easily 300, 400, or 500 feet tall, you suspect. Just barely with the fading light. The tips of the pine trees that dot and cover the surface stand foreboding. The structures here themselves are made with fairly steep roofs. Some are shingled, some are thatched, depending on presumably the wealth of the occupant. You're led through a courtyard by your compatriots that's covered in stone and a strange, almost solemn stone structure. Looks like maybe a place of prayer, of all things. Strikes you as strange. Stands opposite an imposing keep with the doors hung wide open and a series of heavy torches set out front, illuminating a small message board. Once you're led out of this square, the stones underneath your feet change back to cobble and dirt here and there. And you're led through to the northern edge of this bank of the river, which is identified as the Choral Run. From the outside, the shop appears unremarkable. It's curtained windows and a recessed entrance. As you step into the vestibule, you notice the steel grate flooring beneath your feet, creating the intriguing and foreboding atmosphere. Adjacent to the door, within the recessed entrance, there's a large spherical stone embedded into the wall. The door swings open outward over the grate, and a lot of you can see into the shop. The small apparition of a magical hand appears in front of you, mimes placing a palm upon the large spherical stone, and then vanishes. Does so again one more time. At the prompting of your companions and the obvious gesture of the apparition, you replicate its actions, and dirt and grime falls away from your person, freshly unsullied. You can step in, and your eyes are filled with a bevy of familiar and unfamiliar objects. You've worked with Kelpip. You remember the type of shop that he kept in Brigand's Hold. This is eerily identical. There's the two distinct halves of the store. The right side, a sprawling bar top stretches from wall to wall. The dark wood of the bar has this air of elegance, and it's maintained and polished to perfection. Behind the bar, there is a wall seemingly composed entirely of drawers of varying sizes. On the other side of the store, there is an eclectic display of curiosities and artifacts. Shelves adorned with curios, trinkets, peculiar objects. Raw materials for crafting and enchanting are spread throughout the space. A small rack carries an array of vials of colored inks. There's a coffee table, wide and square, that's occupying the center of the structure. That has an impressive display of incense and herbs meant for burning. The air is filled with the scent of that display, which has this strange cornucopia blending effect. This is, without a doubt, the shop of Kelpip Snowbeetle. As the group of you enter, There's no one present at the moment. You're there in the shop alone.
Would that strike Jaya as unusual that there's no one in here?
It's not unheard of for you, but it's not common. It would meet you more as like a uncommon occurrence, but you could definitely see it happening. It's not like it would never happen and it would be cause for concern.
I'll just yell, "Hello, Kelpip! Your favorite friends are here."
You hear a snapping sensation done from behind the curtain on the opposite wall that leads to the back of the bar top. And sort of fixing his cufflinks and adjusting his overcoat slightly. You find the familiar face of Kelpip Snowbeetle. He's a halfling of average height. His appearance has this sense of refined elegance. The gentleman is meticulously dressed. A bespoke suit of deep green, tailored to fit him perfectly with silver fittings and buttons that glisten in the low light. His dark hair is very slightly starting to thin at the front top, but is neatly slicked back, and the twinkle is still present within his blue eyes. On each of his fingers is an array of beautiful silver rings, each stone different in color and cut from the ones that adorn the rest of the fingers. An emerald, sapphire, amethyst. It's an impressive display that makes his fingers look like they have a rainbow dancing upon them. Hello, how are you all doing? It's good to see
There
you.
he is. Good to see you too.
I've not received any word from you that my front in Akkad is up and available yet. Any luck there?
Well, and I look
I-
to Siegfried.
Well,
Oh,
we should
Jai!
find.
it's so good to see you. I thought you
Aw,
were dead,
Madame.
truthfully, until 3-4 days hence. Past.
Yeah, sorry about that. Turns out, as a wizard, I don't have any messaging spells, which seems, truth be
Lacking.
told, interesting. But I was sort of hiding that I was kidnapped.
I mean, that makes sense. That means they would have known who you were.
I mean, I am a wizard's apprentice and all, so... I mean, how many winged tieflings are walking around at any point in time, you know? So, but yes, I'm alive. It's good to see you.
You also have
Yeah.
an important mother and father, so don't think that has nothing to do with it. I mean, maybe it's a good thing they knew who you were and you're not dead, but I'm sorry that you had to deal with such kidnappings.
Alright. Got some useful items out of it. Can't wait to show you.
And regarding the city, would you like to hear my report regarding your
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I
establishment?
got distracted.
No, I understand. We were quite surprised running into Jaya as well. Glad we did.
Please do go on. I'm just looking for something.
So,
What do you do? As he's rummaging through one of the doors.
I'll explain that we discovered that something was going on underneath the city. We met up with your friend Finian. Together with him, we broke into the library controlled by the Order of Whelm. We found some information on a ancient deep dragon living beneath the city that was basically sustaining the oasis, and the Order of Whelm seemed to be interested in that or connected to that because we encountered some enemies in the deep that exploded in an arcane nature, and Finian found another person like that in the library. So from that on, we moved under the assumption that the Order of Whelm was connected to what was going on down underneath. So we went underneath. We fought some more people that seemed to be part of the Order of Whelm. Came across this weird ooze monster and something called a mind breaker, I guess. Fought that. Dragon didn't wake. Seemed to be no longer being bothered by this thing. We went back to the surface, where the city was seemingly attacked. Jaya has more information regarding that, but someone was setting buildings on fire, and not naturally. And then after we helped with that, we figured we would come back home for a little bit.
Roll me d20.
Okay. Ooh, 19.
Hey,
This
Spencer.
explanation takes the better part of about an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yes, Aeolus.
As Siegfried's explaining this, can I just watch for Kelpip's body language?
Certainly. Make me an insight check. He remains relatively stoic through most of it, and seems to react as you would expect anyone to naturally react during appropriately during the appropriate moments, as Siegfried, gifted in the art of performance in general, relays this tale and weaves his yarn.
Right. Okay.
Nothing
I'm sorry.
stands out untowards to you about it.
Duke, thank you for that.
So, we haven't really disrupted the Order, but I think we might have anyways by disrupting their plan, so that's where we're at. Kelpip, I don't know if it's safe for you to set up shop or not yet, but we're working on it.
Well, if this group is the individuals setting fires, that seems like the place that I had closed up temporarily because of civil unrest has become more unrested.
I'm afraid so. And we're not exactly sure if the people setting fire were part of the Order of Whelm. Jaya, I don't think you found any evidence of that. Right?
Yeah, no, didn't see any identifying marks in that way. Just the facial tattoos and wax goatee, unfortunately.
You
Which isn't the
recognize-
first time that we've heard about a woman with facial tattoos.
No, it's the second time. So that's where the focus of our investigation is currently, Kelpip, is figuring out who this woman is.
I mean, that would probably be the most advisable. I mean, you have 3 leads to go on from my understanding. How was the city when you left it?
Well,
Did you leave right after the fires? You didn't cover that part of the tale.
we had to rest after the fire. We had just fought a dragon when the fires were happening, so we did our best And then we long rested, and the guards seemingly had everything in hand before we left.
Right. My concern would be, based on what you said, those individuals going around setting fires, they don't mean to leave the city alone.
I don't think so either. And in our experience, I turned to Aeolus. Usually when someone sets something on fire, it's either to distract or destroy evidence. Maybe both at the same time.
I have a feeling that if the fires are connected with the Order of Whelm, that they are going to make an attempt on the current ruler's life.
That's all we have, Kelpip. I'm sorry we don't have better news.
It's,
Our plan is to head back.
it's probably advisable. He seems fairly perturbed and pretty deep in thought. But he's rather mute on the subject beyond that.
Is everything alright, Kelpip?
A lot to think about.
Can I do
understand
it?
He's
Can I
just
insight
giving me
him?
a lot of information. Yeah, sure.
As 19. Did I cut out?
19.
Okay. Yeah.
Tough to read.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense what he said. You've given him a lot of information that he didn't have yet to sort of process, and he's clearly processing it. You suspect he's probably holding like some of his own thoughts back, which
Yep.
is up to you to determine if you are perturbed by the fact that he doesn't share 100% with you. But yeah, that's what you read into it.
Well, Kelpip, we're probably going to be leaving pretty quickly tomorrow. If there's anything you else need from us, find us quick. Thank you again for your help.
Of course. I'll check in my own ways to see what fates have befallen Aldrich. Hopefully, the old bastard's still kicking.
I hope so too. I've never seen a city like that before. I didn't feel like I belonged there.
It's quite a lot by comparison to anything on this side of Equan.
Help it.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop by tomorrow. Would you happen to have any inventory that can help with infiltration?
Infiltration? Not particularly, I'm afraid. I mean, you pick up rope from I don't even think Gogron carries stuff like grappling hooks if you're trying to do a little bit of second story work. There's a... So
I'll ask
he's
around.
clearly sort of
I-
running through his inventory in his mind. I mean, I think I have one potion of diminution. But it's not gonna do that much for you. Unless you can find mouse holes in stone blocks. Much better in places like Amskirk or here itself, where everything's made of wood.
Should learn how to become an animal ALS. It's the easiest way to sneak in places.
I'll look into that.
Well, Kelpip, I'll leave you to your evening. Jaya, do you want to stay here, or what are your plans?
Yeah.
We're probably
Yeah,
gonna end up at the inn tonight. Me and Aeolus have to go make report to the watch. But you're free to do whatever you want.
Here. He finishes sort of rummaging through the drawers that he was looking through. Ja, this is for you. Just in case something like that should happen again. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm sorry that I didn't do more due diligence in trying to figure out what happened. He presents you with a ring. It looks like it's been had dozens, maybe scores of wires that have been sort of wound together and into this circular shape of the ring and pressed and fused in a way that there's still these striations present. And then that has been used as the blank to carve sigils and symbols into the ring. Just in case you need to get a hold of me for a particular reason in the future.
Nice. I thought you'd never ask.
Don't flatter yourself. You're much too young for me.
Oh, sweet.
So,
If you want,
you get the message
maybe...
cantrip automatically.
Yeah.
And this ring, regardless of who is wearing it, it's not attunement. Once per day, per dawn, you can cast a special version of sending that lets you converse with the subject for 1 minute.
Ooh. Even better.
As if you are in the same room, as opposed to sending messages back and forth.
Fantastic.
And that way, if you need to talk to him, just give him a ring.
Literally. Nice. Okay.
I couldn't resist that one.
Perfect. Well, I mean, it's up to you. I just kind of appeared in your life suddenly. So I can hang out, or I can go meet these watch fellas that these gents are going to go meet. But we could catch up.
You're welcome to stay here if you need. I'll make sure that it'll allow you in.
You're more than welcome to come make a report, but just so you're aware, they're probably only going to be interested in any information you have. So if you're not willing to give that up, maybe you should just stay here. I don't want to force you to work with us in that way, you know?
I mean, I'm kind of in for the whole genre here.
Okay.
I don't trust those people, and I feel like we need to get as much information as possible.
Sure. Well, yes, I'm sure Captain Stormsurge would have plenty of questions for you, especially with your recent dealing with pirates. So just apologies in advance if they don't seem to trust you, because they probably don't.
Ja, if you are going to Blackburn, mum's the word on my other shops.
What other shops?
He sort of
Thank you
just
for
taps
telling
his
me.
nose and
Thank you for telling me that, Kelvin, because I did not know that. But I will make sure not to tell that.
Aeolus just slowly face palms, just shakes his head.
Yeah, maybe I should just go for supervision, yeah?
I mean, that's usually what Tang does, but I think she's getting getting a spa day while we're back.
The feathers,
I gotta
the feathers
resurrect
were
these
quite
fuckers.
close to you, yeah.
Alright, Ellie Dunnan, are you coming with us, or are you gonna chill at the Faded
Oh.
Gate?
I usually let that Black Baron business handle you two, and I point to you, to Aeolus and you.
Mhm.
You'll find me, you know where.
Understood.
And Helly, we'll make sure to say hi to Gogren before we leave tomorrow. I assume his shop's closed now, right?
Who?
Gogren?
Who's Gogren?
Oh, whatever.
Ogren?
You're
Your cousin?
I don't remember having any cousins.
Right,
Wait.
that thing was eating memories. Do we have anything to undo that?
Wait.
You heard of anything, Kelpie?
Shit.
Tang,
that would
Tang
be
has,
divine magics. It's not really my purview.
yeah.
Blessings
when
and
thing-
whatnot. Sticky business.
Okay, well
Always asked
then
you for
I
favors when you knew that stuff. Never got into it myself.
I could potentially do something, but I would need one of Teng's diamonds. Also, Teng has one of those
You need
seeds.
diamonds.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll wait on that. We'll go see him and you guys can explain what the hell happened. But I trust you that this guy is my cousin
Yes,
and I need to say hello to him.
he cares about you quite a bit, and before you lost your memories, you seem to care about him as well.
Yeah, I care about people easily, so yeah, I'm not surprised. Why do you think I hang around you guys for so long?
We are fun.
Oh.
I care about you.
Oh.
This isn't for the money.
What money?
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Yeah, wait, hold on. You guys are getting paid?
I'm doing this so I can maybe buy a house one day and it won't get burned down, hopefully.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
He said that because your house burned down, Aeolus. Right?
I'm gonna go get a bottle, and I'm gonna go back to my house that is not burnt down.
After we need you for
Nope.
for research. Nope, I'm dragging you. I'm a Goliath. I'm just
You're being
grabbing
dragged by
Yeah.
you're dragging your superior officer to,
Yes.
to Blackburn.
Yes, I'm dragging you.
I don't wanna. No.
I'll
I'm
drink
gonna-
one for you to
I'm
be the
first,
Faded Gate.
I'm gonna woe that. I'm gonna woe that. So that's a 10 now. I'm gonna use my athletics check.
Hope you roll a 1.
Nice. We match
beats it.
each other.
It's a wrestling match.
Aeolus, you are fireman carried.
The Blackbird watch.
Hmm.
Don't worry, I'll carry you to your house.
I have a spell for this. I have a
Of course
spell
you
for
do.
this.
Of course you do. But Storm Surge needs to hear from both of us. I can't be the one keep making these reports, Aeolus.
A strange procession of the group of you leaving Kelpips, heading back to the paved stone square. Not into the large temple-like structure, but into the keep proper. Through the massive open doors, flanked by torches. and through what appears to be a training area that has been retired for the day, as it is after dusk, getting into proper evening, into and through a large meeting hall with various cook fires and hearths dotted throughout to keep the space appropriately heated, as well as provide the means to prepare their individual meals. Siegfried carries Aeolus' ass first, up a staircase on the far side, through 2 hallways, up a second set of stairs, and
I would like to try to pass off that I'm dead.
make a performance check.
Oh, I'm so dead.
Every
Oh,
now and then, it's just
I'm
it's
dead.
this. You have this really bad itch on your face.
Once we get
and
to
to Storm
whoever,
Surge, outside of Storm Surge's office.
yeah. Once I get outside Storm Surge's office, I put him down and I straighten up his clothes and I say, "Are you ready now, Captain?" Or I mean, whatever, Sergeant, Superior. I don't even know your rank, Aeolus.
I'll knock.
Avowed. And I salute him.
I don't look at you. I just raise my fist and just knock on the door.
A few knocks later. Come in! As you enter, you are all greeted by the familiar silver fox that is Captain Brath's Storm Surge. He has a short-cut beard and mustache, pushed back locks of silver hair that are always sort of getting in his face, and a voice that you immediately think the man has never whispered a day in his life. There is Captain Storm Surge for you, Shia. I don't believe you've seen that previously. Good to see all of you. It's late. Where can I owe the pleasure? Close the door. Come in, come in. Sorry, I don't have any food for you. You can fuck off downstairs if you want to eat.
Is it safe to speak about our recent business here?
Would it not be?
Just wanted to
Who's
confirm.
this one? Sort of gives a side eye at Jaya. I don't see her
She-
face before.
She is a new member of the Bloody Mad Dogs.
Picked up another stray, I see. Who's that owl fellow?
She's taking a nap. It's been a stressful few days.
There have been some problems.
Aeolus is going to give report. They step back.
Looks at Aeolus.
Um,
Piercing into you.
I will update him on first the Order of Whelm. And then ours, the kidnappings that we theorize. It is. And then I'll go into the creature underneath Akkad.
And the fires too, right? Or no?
Seeing what happened to Kelpit, I'll leave out the last few hours about the city until after he processes this information.
He asks poignant questions to clarify things as you proceed. Is there anything else that you do leave out? Other than, I presume you're leaving out Jaya's backstory and the connection to Kelpip?
Yes, and the mention of Kelpip's business altogether.
Okay. As you list through, he partway in, he pulls out a quill, and starts taking a few notes here and there. Doesn't even look down. He's just keeping his eyes trained on you, paying attention as you relate everything. So, is Akkad getting into civil war at this point, then?
When we returned, there were fires set. My personal suspicion is they're setting fires as a distraction.
Okay.
Siegfried will pipe up then. Also, just to mention, the Order of Whelm, before we arrived, seemed to be working as some sort of hive mind. It was a large group of people all acting in the same way together. I believe that the monster we slew was somehow involved in that, and we may have hampered their ability to act like that, but it seems like we may have accidentally caused more chaos.
Like you sort of cut off the connection in between all of the different parts of the hive, so now they're all just acting individually?
It might be the case, I don't know, but we did notice that the fires were set to buildings that weren't marked by the Order of Whelm, and they were set by magic, so...
And puts the quill down. Alright, I understand none of you are trained as political envoys. Based on your experience, do you think that the Order of Whelm poses an existential threat to Akkad?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was quick. You can think about it for a minute.
No.
I mean,
No.
There is no thought.
I believe they were connected to those fires, and many people died in those fires. Citizens of Akkad, guardsmen, merchants, children.
You mentioned that the people turned into this sort of goo when they're killed. Yes.
Yes, my
this creature
first
was like able to sort of siphon off part of itself and make a goo person that turned into an actual person.
Correct. My first thoughts were it might have been related to what happened to Badiana, but I wasn't able to confirm.
So would he has a look on his face for a moment, and it passes. So would it serve to reason then that anyone who is a citizen of Akkad, but is a member, holds up his hands for the air quotes, of the Order of Whelm, is not actually that citizen? They're just a copy.
I'm not sure. We haven't met enough members of the Order, and the only members of the Order we were able to confirm were a copy were people that seem to be Spellcaster. Yes. However, yes. So
Combatants.
I would say yes. Then I agree. I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But we weren't able to confirm exactly who or what. I list off. We found these draconic. We found these draconic. I put these draconic lizards. We found these gray dwarves, and these spellcasters. Those were the 3 types of people we confirmed were these goo men.
There was also one more.
To be clear, also, the draconians were not made of goo.
Okay, yeah, they exploded into bone shards. Never mind. And then let's keep going.
There's a building in a COD that is off limits to everyone except for those in the order. It is the library of a COD.
So they control it?
They do. And when we broke in to get evidence, we fought an individual who exploded the same way.
Alright. So, sort of looks up after rubbing his brow for a moment. So either all of the combatants are goo people that blow up, and because their hive brain is gone, they're just acting individually now. Or all members, combatants and non-combatants, of the Order of Whelm are goo people.
That is the assumption we're working under at the moment.
In which case, there's thousands of people that have already been killed in the pursuit of replacing them with copies that are loyal to this, well, that were part of this hive mind, as you said.
We don't exactly know, but we...
You said the thing was killing you guys, yes?
It was killing us, but we haven't found any bodies of the missing, and we were hired to find someone missing, and he just came home, said nothing was wrong. So,
and was a proud supporter of the Order of Whelm after
When he came back, yes.
yeah. So I think something along the lines of what you're describing happened to him.
I believe this Order of Whelm is responsible for the genocide that is happening in a COD right now. And I will put my career and my life on that.
Right. I hope I'm not right. Because if I am, it means that it's already happened. And it's just continuing to happen. It's not about to happen. It means that a third of the city, based roughly on what you've told me, is dead and replaced. That's a monumentally crippling blow.
Or positive outlook, they could just be mind controlled.
Also, I just want to mention, I think
Sort of
whoever
back in his chair as he's
I think whoever set this up has been planning something like this for decades, maybe centuries. I think they've been waiting for an opportune moment to do this, and whatever the nature of our current environment is now favorable to them, so they're putting their full force behind this.
Hey, Spencer.
Yeah.
The Mind Breaker
Yes.
summoned the aspect of Greklorg.
It did not.
It did not.
No.
Okay. So, but we fought. What?
The Mindbreaker exploded just like the other goo people.
Okay. So then, But-
you have the impression that's the other way around. The aspect created the Mindbreaker.
okay. And then, we've heard the name Greklork before, right?
You have.
Yes, when we helped the orc tribes, when we fought the remnants of the cannibals, do you remember?
Isn't Greklork related to...
Evilcast?
Yeah.
I have been
Didn't
dreading.
we
I've been.
find that out in our research?
I don't recall, but Rucklork also seems to be some kind of entity that lives beyond the edges of our reality, just like Evilcast. I don't know if they're. It doesn't. We have no idea if they're of the same group or the same nature, but that's what it feels like to me.
Illis, make me a religion check.
Ooh. Of course.
Great. As your brain is starting to run through all of this, you've related the tale, you've heard the tale related, and you've been processing it in lots of different manifestations and different ways that the words get assembled, helping you view it from different perspectives as it's been told multiple times at this point. A little bit to Finian, a bunch to Kelpip, and then almost as much as you said to Kelpip to Storm Surge. You have this moment where it feels like these two names that you've sort of been dancing around, Ivilkest and Greklork, are similar entities with overlapping spheres of influence. And as that phrase comes through your mind, you think of a particular mithril pendant that you are carrying in your bag. That is two spheres, two circles, overlapping in a vertical orientation. A vertical Venn diagram. A pendant you obtained from a Drusian of Elderthorn who was offering sacrifices to Ivilkest.
I'm going to slowly start to spit out the Mayor Tadell, all of the connection points kind of as they alight. And I'm just gonna look at Egfried. It's the same fucking cult.
Well, then it seems like this cult's goal is to destabilize strongholds of society across Droucia. First Alderthorn, now Akkad. And if they've been preparing to do this for a while, it makes sense that the same thing might be happening in other cities beyond us. Don't you think, Storm Surge?
It's possible. Armskirk and a small rebellion a little more than a year back, before last winter. They squashed that fairly quickly. Nobody wouldn't have thought any type of relation unless maybe that was their attempt there. And it's been getting smarter as they go, biding time and improving upon each iteration.
They attack the migrating orc tribes too.
Something you said resonated. About 18 months back, Badiana returned from a year in Akkad, finishing learning some medicine in the region. She traveled with the ODMC.
You think she was replaced?
How many?
It makes sense. And then, if she was killed,
How about the pharmacist though? Had she been to Akkad?
I don't know. She was from Armskirk.
Did her brother come talk to you? Or come to the watch?
I've not seen a brother. I'll keep an eye out.
If you-
Halfling fellow.
Yes, if you manage to come in contact him, ask him his whereabouts of his sister, if she had ever been to Akkad before. She was another person who was affected like Badiana.
I need to get Arvir. Is there anything else I need to know at the moment?
We're planning on going to Akkad, back to Akkad, in relatively shortly.
Fine. I mean, fuck it. I don't care if you wear Blackburn gear. Wear whatever you need. Deal with the Order of Whelm with as much prejudice as you can muster.
Understood.
It's that bad then.
The Opulent Depths Mining Company trades with every major city and many hundreds of small villages that are dotted throughout the islands, Armskirk, ourselves, even every now and then your compatriots, Teng's village. Not a lot of trade, they don't make a lot or buy a lot. Karad, Akkad, those are typically long trips, multi-year journeys.
After Storm Surge pauses, Siegfried swears in Giant and exclaims,
They're the most interconnected agency, but if whatever this was that was in Akkad sort of piggybacked on their trade and travel and spread it from one city to others, I have to go arrest 36 people in the next limited amount of time as possible, and then sort of figure out how to find out if they're goo people in ways that doesn't involve killing them.
and be careful, some of them, they're not just goo, they explode.
You mentioned.
And deal damage.
Storm Surge.
Yes.
That means it's not out of the realm of possibility that friendlies could not be friendlies.
That's fair. Lori and Arvir never been to Akkad.
We know someone who has.
Ooh.
I just look to Siegfried.
I don't remember. Is this something I should remember in character?
We're all puzzled, Sam.
I look to Siegfried,
Oh,
and
you mean the death deniers?
I'm talking about Kelpit.
But Kelpip helped us fight Evil Cast.
Why? Just why?
Because he lived in our town and he didn't want the water
So did the
supply to be
mayor.
tainted.
She lived here too. And she went as far as to kill a young boy, steal her daughter's child.
I don't think Kelpip would do that. He's our friend.
I think you're on something, Aeolus.
Storm Surge, when would you like to meet with Arvir?
I'm going to go find him now. As soon as y'all get out of my office.
Should this be a council meeting?
No.
If he's going to arrest people, absolutely not.
Some of whom are on the council.
Understood. I'll talk to the rest of you later, and Aeolus will exit the keep or make his way.
Aeolus!
Yes.
Nothing said here leaves this room.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm 3 drinks in. Understood, sir.
I think I'm going to stay in the keep tonight, Ellie. Maybe you can take Jaya back to the inn.
Yeah, we'll all go back to the Fated Gate.
And I turn to Helly and he says,
Storm Surge gets up and ushers you out of the office so you can go about his business.
I just whisper to Helly and Jaya, do you really think we can't trust Kelpip?
I'm beginning to think it's a little too coincidental. He's on the council. He's at least got to be eliminated as a suspect.
How about you, Jaya? You respect him quite a bit.
Here's the thing. We don't even know if the people who are goo people know they're goo people until they explode. He may, as arcane and wise as he is, he may be unaware of what's going on. That doesn't mean he's not a goo person, but he may not be compliant. I think we need to be careful. But I do wish we had gone to see Storm Surge first.
Badiana's death always bothered me. We never found out what happened to her. She was a good person.
Mm-hmm.
She trained
And
me.
Kelpip is helping. But what's he helping us do? What if we're all of the stuff we've been hired to do and trained to do all this stuff and run everywhere has just been to distract us from what we really should be doing? Because we're so deadly.
I also think we were talking. Whoever enacted this scheme, Ivilcast Greklork, they've been waiting for centuries, and I think they were waiting for the gates to be opened. And seems like no matter what we do, we're just helping speed along the plan now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's disturbing.
Well, good night. I don't think I'm gonna sleep much, but I'll see you in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Anyone have anything else before they retire for the evening? And we'll do a mid-session break, if not.
Yes, but I can wait until afterwards.
Sounds good. Let's do a quick break.
Okay.
5-6 minutes. Back.
Sounds good.
40,
Okay.
41. Getting back into everything. I believe we left off with someone asking Jaya if she trusted Kelpip.
Yeah, I asked Jaya what she thought of the suspicion on Kelpip. If
I mean, I've known him for years, right? But I also feel like he met me under suspicious circumstances. So if you were going to suspect him, you would automatically suspect me, right? So if logically in this scenario, I'm going to be like, oh no, he's totally fine. But then also, wouldn't I say that if I was a goo person? You literally found me in your hotel room. You know?
Be a good person.
Exactly. So, but do I think he's helping this? No, that's not his style. But I would say that, wouldn't I, if I was a good person?
Okay, this is getting really fucked up.
I'm not a goo person. I'm not. I'll tell you
I
that
don't
for sure.
think a goo
but-
person would ever say they were a goo person. What if we
Well,
just cut off
exactly.
the tip of a pinky or something and see if goo comes out?
I might need that.
I mean,
I mean,
I'm sure we
I
can,
love this.
all we need is a good cigar cutter.
Could you just take off a pinky toe? Like, the hands I might need, and identifiable enough as it is. But
I think before we start cutting up pinky toes, I definitely need to defer to Tang on that.
Yeah, I mean, we could just heal it. Yeah. Oh, God.
look, what I will say is, I don't think he's helping out these people take over a city like that. But I don't have anything to go on to allay your suspicions. It's just what instinct tells me he's not.
Well, hopefully Stormford Surge susses it out before any conflict arises, but I was just worried that suspicion on him may have offended you since you're his apprentice.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't get rattled really easily, and so again, it does seem like you would be suspicious of me as well, right? I don't know, but I also don't know the whole story. I feel like this is the first time I've heard of what's the name?
Evil Kest or
Mariana?
Red Lord?
Basically all of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you,
Oh,
is there
Ben,
anything I should go into?
I mean, I'll take I take her back to my quarters and
Wow.
close
Okay.
the door, close the door with Ellie, and then I tell her the story of Badiana and how the bloody mad dog started.
You need to actually relate that tale. You can't just say I say that. It's not an NPC.
Fine. I'll let, I don't know about Heli, but I'll tell you the story of how I joined the Bloody Mad Dogs. While ago, I was simply just a guide. Whenever we got reports of lost travelers, people who hadn't checked in a few days, they would send me out to investigate them. I got an order one day for a similar thing, but it led me into the Pinwood. I asked Arvier about it, and he just said orders are orders, so I went to the Pinwood, and I ran into these guys getting attacked, and that's how I met them. Anyways, after fighting some bloody mad dogs in the Pinwood, we came back to town, and a murder had occurred. A very beloved individual in this town had been killed, the son of a prominent family. And
of course, we were immediately suspected.
exactly, because we had been out of town. No one could remember sending me those orders to go to the Pinwood. I'm lucky I checked with Arvier. Otherwise, there would have been anywhere. Anyways, we investigated the murder, and we unfortunately, we discovered it was orchestrated by our own very own Mayor Tadell, someone who had up until that point been a pretty beloved pillar of our community. She was an herbalist, always invited people over for tea. The only thing,
She was not an herbalist. She had
she had a garden. She had a very
Correct.
prominent garden, right?
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful garden. Things from places I'd never even heard of. She had a very sick daughter, and she was supposed to get married to the person who got murdered.
Lander Goldberg.
Lander. I forgot their names. The daughter and Lander.
Son of Leofric and Maud Goldberg.
Yeah.
Taylors.
Yes. So we investigated further, and then we uncovered that Mayor Tadell knew about the Bode Milestones and had been trying to use one to carry out some kind of ritual that involved the sacrifice of a baby, her own grandchild, to be specific.
Oh.
It involved keeping her daughter sick, killing Lander. Badiana, who was the main arcanist for the order, it was found that she had disappeared, and in her quarters we found not goo, but we found a body that had been liquefied. Similar to the goo. She didn't explode or anything. We just found a body that had rapidly decomposed without any of the smell. And then shortly after, there was a herbalist pharmacist, apothecary that had come here from Armskirk to help Mayor Tadell's daughter.
Rohan Tea Dance.
She also, something similar happened to their body, except when we found her, she helped us. I turned to Heli. She pointed us to Mayor Tadell in the Pinwood. Why? If she was under mind control, why would she do that? And then Siegfried gets distracted, and then he goes back. But she decomposed in my arms, and we went into the Pinwood under her discretion, and we found.
You found her in the Pinwood.
We found.
You were chasing people who had set fire to Aeolus's home.
Yep.
And
then we found her. Yeah, we found Frohen, and then through her directions, we found Mayor Tadell and 2 half-elves, right?
Yes.
And each the half-elves seem to be related, as far as we can tell, and we assume, based off our investigations, they had stepped off a boat not too long ago, but
Kylie.
Yes, they had some interesting tattoos and were quite strong, but we were able to subdue them, and we were able to kill Mayor Tadell, who also then decomposed in the same manner, and that's how we found our first Bode Milestone. And shortly after, we used that to open the gate, but during that fight, Mayor Tadell had that Bode Milestone involved in a ritual, and it seemed like she was trying to bring something through to our side. And ever since that, we've been on this adventure together.
Just a point of clarification as well. Tadell's daughter was never sick. That was the lie to cover the unplanned, unwedded pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, accurate.
She was chained in her room, right?
Yep, she was chained to her bed. And I think she was lied to about what happened to her baby as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if these people are hive mind controlled, isn't it possible for that hive mind to maybe give them their brain back for a little while, or everything, including the death of Tadell and everybody else, was planned to get us to go in a certain direction? Maybe we are doing its dirty work or something. I don't know. I'm very confused right now.
All 3 of you can roll intelligence checks. Religion. You can roll religion checks. Or Arcana, your choice.
The love of God.
That's like the highest you've rolled in a while.
I know. Still sad though.
Yeah, right?
No, Ellie and Siegfried are the wrong people for intelligence check.
Yeah. Something sounds off to you, Jaya. These individuals, based on the tale as Siegfried relates it, seemed to be offering prayers to this Ivilcest. And their deaths feel similar, but not the same as the demise of those associated with this Greklork entity in the Order of Whelm.
Then I'll also mention to Jaya, we have encountered something related to Greklork in the past as well. We determined that the best thing to do was to head to Armskirk to find out more information. On the way there, we ran into a nomadic orc tribe, which was unusual. At that time of the year, they should have been, they should have migrated south to
North.
greener pasture. Oh, north. Sorry, I forget.
It was
They
the
should
end
have
of winter. They follow the receding frost line.
Yeah, so winter was ending. They were going back to their northern grazing grounds. However, something had been preventing that. Every night on the plane they were on, they were attacked by revenants, flaming skeletons. Skeletons was out of a nightmare. And no matter how many nights we fought, how many we killed, they would come back every single night. So they were effectively stuck on this plane and starving to death. Some members of their party had gone out to investigate something and they hadn't come back, so we figured that would be the best place to start. So we went tracking them, and honestly it was very difficult. We wouldn't have found it without Dunnan's dog, the pup. But we found an old ruin, a building older than anything we've seen before, and in it I found a flame. And it said, out of the flame, we heard the name Greklork. And when I tried to... No, Dunnan is back at the Fated Gate.
Okay.
When I went up to the flame to disenchant it, I heard the name Greklork, and I think the rest of our party as well. And afterwards, we fought some more revenants, and we realized that the party who had been set out to try and figure out what was going on had ended up resorting to cannibalism. And
you're slightly misremembering there.
okay,
a group of hunters from the tribe had resorted to cannibalism after getting trapped by a snowstorm.
okay,
This was before the tribe was assailed by any of these revenants in the dead of winter.
okay, and they had made refuge in this area of Greklork, right?
Correct.
And
this is where they were trapped, or where they took refuge from the snowstorm.
Yeah, they apparently cannibalized each other and starved to death, and we had to fight their remnants. And as far as I was aware, with some difficulty, I was able to disenchant this flame of Greklork, or whatever it was on that altar. And shortly after, the remnants assailing the orc tribes stopped, and they were able to move north. But that's where we first heard the name Greklork. And we heard the name Evilcest after the incident with Mayor Cadell. We started, some of the farmlands around the town had started going bad. Something to do with the water and the springs and the aquifers that supplied them. Whoever drank the water was finding themselves slowly, their limbs would harden until the point where their bodily organs stopped working entirely and they would pass. While we were investigating, we got attacked by some cultists or followers who wore that holy symbol that Aeolus has shown you. They were actually people who could transform into animals. We fought them because they seemed to be trying to meddle with one of the farmers' springs and defeated them. And then we realized that they had come out. They had come to Elderthorn from a mine nearby, a mine that possibly would have been able to connect them to our water table. So we went and investigated. Similar to our recent adventure, we went down and down and down until we came across sort of a ritual sacrifice area. Actually, a couple of the death deniers that Dunn keeps talking about had been captured, and again we met those half-elves, the ones we killed with Mayor Tadell. We met one of them.
Alan.
Elan. We fought and killed him again. We freed the death deniers, but then there was something else there. Like the aspect of Greklork we just fought, we fought an aspect of Evilcast. The cultists had seemingly been dumping these infectious crystals into them, the crystals that were causing the issue with petrification amongst our villagers. We defeated the aspect of Evilcast, and we managed to get samples of these crystals back to Kelpip, who was able to create an inoculation that seemingly has worked since then. But those are the two incidences where we learned about Evilcast and Greklork. I don't know if that adds anything.
You had
to your...
no idea what you were walking into, did you? This is
Well,
all
I did literally fall into it, so.
This is
I guess
all
the one
I mean,
question I would
you're
ask-
not the Tang literally got hit by a lightning bolt and fell on top of us, so I don't think you're the worst off.
Seems like there's a lot of accidental joining of this tribe together.
Yes.
So perhaps if I joined in a reasonable situation, it would be more suspicious. I guess the one thing I would say is, why would Kelpip help you? You know,
Well,
solve that. If
he is part
he
of
was
the
evil.
he is part of the council, right? Spencer?
He is. He's one of
He's
the
he's
council
part of
elders.
the he's part of the leadership, and we were given that mission from the leadership, and as far as we knew, he was in an official capacity working on the problem with us, so I didn't think twice about helping him.
Yeah.
You said I have a cousin here.
Yes.
What
Gogren.
does he do, and
He's a merchant.
has
He's
he ever
actually-
traveled?
I don't know. You knew more about him than I did. I just knew he was very kind to you, and I think you knew him since you were very little. He always
Is
seemed-
he on the
he always seemed
council?
Gogren isn't on the council, is he? Right?
As Kim, I thought he was.
I can't
Believe he
remember.
is, Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Gogren is on the council. He is quite a pillar of our community. He is.
But he
Gogren
hasn't
is one of
traveled.
the council of elders.
Yep.
Along with
Yeah.
you've met Mother Ichthic,
Yep.
Troom Hallam, the butcher, and
And,
you've met
the
Cedar,
Tabaxi.
the Tabaxi.
Yeah. Yep. And she's like the religious, sort of spiritual leader
Cedar?
of the town. Yeah. Right.
She's Cedar is
I just knew she was like a culty,
Double
and
check.
like she was like, "Ooh, I know witch things." That's what it seemed like.
yes. Cedar is the tabaxi that helps tend that large shrine in the center. Sells small bits of incense and like effigies for offerings to the various kami. Relatively well versed as far as like little offerings like that goes, and is also one of Gogren's extra hands for beekeeping.
Hmm. Should we go
Mostly
talk to
because Cedar
him?
likes to drink, and helping Gogren means that they don't pay for drink.
I think we should. He would want to know what happened to you, Ellie. He's going to be quite sad you don't remember him.
Well, I trust that I feel like I want to see him. I want to see if my memory gets jogged. And you guys can explain to him what happened, why
I can do that.
this is fucked up. I'm just thinking if he's never traveled.
I think he's traveled, but I think more with the orc tribes.
Yeah, but like not recently, not since all this bullshit has started happening.
I know he goes on resupplies and to get stores for his shop, but I don't know beyond that. He didn't seem to. Well, I'm part of the watch, and he didn't seem to speak as freely around me as he did around you.
I have a really, really vague memory or idea or something. Where did I get these axes? Because I don't remember where I got the axes.
We got those in a cod, right, Spencer?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I thought we got them in Kelpips.
They were ordered.
As Kim, I thought Gogren was putting money down on them
was-
so he could give them to
was
me.
paying them off from Kelly
Oh, okay.
as a gift.
All right. I got them mixed up. Yeah. Then Gogren must have helped you fund them.
They've been really handy.
Like I said, he was very concerned about your well-being.
Let's go talk to him and see if there's anything. I need to reintroduce myself to him, or reintroduce him to me, so I can start building this new relationship, I guess. But
if his shop is closed at the moment, I don't know where he lives.
okay,
He might live in his shop. I don't know. But maybe we should wait till the morning.
yeah, but I think we need to talk to him and see. What if he knows something and he's been trying to push us? I don't know.
There's
I don't
also
know.
there's one person I would like to talk to, but I don't think she's going to give us anything. The woman who lives by the gate, Toadtooth. That's her name, right?
Yeah, Matron Toadtooth.
She definitely knew
Remember
something.
her. Fuck.
She knew exactly how the bone milestones work, what they were used for, and she seemed relatively unconcerned. But I don't know why she would help us, because she didn't help us back then, and I don't have anything to offer her to persuade her into helping us. So
She didn't obstruct us, though. She
no.
didn't try to dissuade us. She just kind of...
But if anyone who knew the true nature of exactly what we were doing, it was her.
Yeah.
Well, that's the story of the Bloody Mad Dogs, minus a few temples to the Raven Queen, an ice dragon, a jungle, a weird Feywoods. We can fill you in on those later, but that's about it.
Broad brushstrokes.
We fought a Medusa.
Dunnan, you went to the Faded Gate. What are you doing there?
Just drinking, observing, talking with Puka. Being back to my usual self, I guess.
Okay.
Just drinking ale after ale.
Make
Being
me
jolly.
Make me a persuasion and insight check, please,
Sure.
for your carousing. Pretty good. Much of the talk is seemingly over some revelry and joy that one of ODMC's ships has returned, so a bunch of people are home spending money finally. They'd been at sea for a good number of months, so that's why a lot of people are typically in the Faded Gate this particular evening. But other than that, it's a nice evening, and you can make of it as you will.
Yeah, after a few drinks, I would probably go out Is it dark or getting dark?
It's been dark.
Okay.
You arrived at dusk.
How is there like a back or a backyard or something, or somewhere where I'm not seen?
There's an area behind the building, about 200 yards away is the beginning of the tannery. Usually set downwind of the rest of Elderthorn. Still pretty far away from other structures, but it's the only building that's behind the Faded Gate. And the Faded Gate itself is a series of row homes that were purchased over about 2 generations of Buka's family. There's some rumors there that the older people of the town like to engage in about how they gained access to all of these various row homes before knocking down internal walls and making it into this massive inn. But there's not like another block behind them. It's just a few hundred yards away is the first edges of the tannery.
Okay, I'll go at the back of the Faded Gate and look around if there's anybody who can see him. So just checking if he's alone.
This time of night, you're stealthy enough that you don't need to roll.
Yeah. So he will just put his hammer in front, so his hammer and the shield in front of him on the floor, and just go to both of his knees and close his eyes and starts praying and just murmur something like, "I'm new to this, I don't know how this works, but thanks again," and just does some religious stuff. And then gets up and just one more thing, and he's gonna cast Find Steed and resummon the pup.
Okay. The pup is back. He's
And I guess they have like a jolly reunion. Like, good to be back, boy. I just hugs him. Yeah, and then he probably goes back inside and waits for the others.
What? Your time passes comfortably in the evening. Aeolus, as you step outside and take a gander at the rod, it is almost due east, as I've mentioned. Very slightly north, and with the little bit of experimentation you understand, since you are not a cartographer. As you move about the Teltha and sort of keep a weather eye on it, it does not seem to shift in orientation in the slightest. So you gather it's a fair distance away, such that even moving north and south throughout the Teltha is not enough of a change along the radius of wherever the point is that towards which it is directing you. Do you have anything else for the evening?
I am just going to head back to the house and will spend probably too long of a time just writing down notes. I draw the Venn diagram symbol a few times. I take out all 5 of these symbols I have, and I'm just in the middle of the home on the floor.
Okay. Back to the trio. As Siegfried has explained this story to you, Jaya, what are your thoughts initially?
I think she's trying to make sense of it because it's a lot to take in at one time. So her rationale is, what on earth could we ask the library to produce that would help make sense of this? I think
Very
it's
good
her.
question.
Have we asked the library about Bodewell stones?
Not Jai's library.
I think we should ask them about that.
You researched library, the Bomel stones at the Great Library of Akkad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and in your library, we didn't
not
even ask it.
Felthrall's.
We didn't even ask it, Evil Kester or Greklor, because you didn't know about them then. But do you think those names
No.
would bring up something in your library?
I think it's worth it. It's worth an ask, honestly.
I
I
think
feel like we're missing something here. So if you're willing to go in, if you guys want to.
your library is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I could stay there for a few weeks, I think.
The more the merrier. She's gonna set it down and, or I guess, or we're in your quarters.
Before I do it, I'm like, this is gonna like destroy my room, right? I they're gonna get real mad if this is all watch property. I don't own anything in this room.
No, we're just gonna small hole. I'll prestidigitate it back to normal later. It's always fine.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So you are going to use Felthrall's Rod of Respite.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
Ellie, are you coming with us, or are you going back to the gate? We might be able to use your help. Or Kim might be AFK.
That's fine. Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just hanging out with all y'all.
Okay, so yep, she's coming with us as well.
Okay. So you conjure Felthrall's library. The magical doorway appearing in the center of your room here at Blackburn Keep, Siegfried. The three of you can enter, spend some time here. You guys are in for about a 12-hour, roughly, long rest, because you did just get up.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
5 hours ago. So over the course of this time, though, Jai, you have the ability to research a topic. What is the topic of your research within the library?
Now, which one do you want to focus on first?
I think Greklor for now, because that's the problem we're tackling at the moment.
Recloak, please.
Okay. Make me a religion check. Is Heliwrast and Siegfried helping?
Yes, can I cast a spell on Jaya?
You cannot.
I cannot. Okay.
Unless
I
the
will
spell has a duration greater than 8 hours, you cannot use enhance ability.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be helping.
I will be.
No spells or
religion?
magical effects with a duration less than 8 hours can aid in this.
I will try it,
so-
but I'm not trained in religion.
You don't make the roll. Jaya does. She gets +2 bonus because the two of you are helping.
Okay.
So Jaya, make a religion roll. So your DC's looking at an 18.
Oh god, I only get a +5. Okay. Lucky. Alright, +2, so 19.
19. Nope. DC 20. That's why I said 18. You need to roll the 18. It's base of 20.
Would you let me use another lucky?
I got woe.
You cannot, and wheel and woe don't affect it.
Yeah,
because your
for 8
duration
hours.
is Not.
Yep.
Yeah. It is a difficult check to make, but it's a check that you can continue to try to make every day. The research is unfruitful as you go through Jaya. A lot of the tomes cover things that you've already learned through what's been talked about so far. And about partway through, you realize that a lot of what has been said in proximity to you has been taken down into various tomes. and you gather. Make an Arcana check for me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Finally.
You gather you have a suspicion that the rod of Felthrall's rod of respite augments the library based on what knowledge is passed around in its vicinity. And you are successful at rehashing a lot of the information you've gathered already, but you don't find anything new, unfortunately. The group of you complete your long rest. You can mark your sheets successfully over that time. About mid-morning the following day. What will you be doing?
I think we told everyone we were going to meet at the gate in the morning, so I would head there.
I wake up to meet Siegfried outside of the gate.
Okay, so you would I imagine Heli and Jaya, you would have gone back to the Faded Gate at some point, correct?
Yes, just to eat and
And then yeah, so Aeolus would probably catch Siegfried on the way to the Faded Gate then.
Oh, I mean, Jaya can rest in the library as well.
Okay.
The library is appointed with rest spaces. And
Okay, so then I guess we'll actually eat some good food and rest in the nice place.
God, Buka's food
Oh,
is not that bad.
So
Pissed.
and then
And I
Yeah,
would
you-
probably just wonder where everybody is.
yeah, no,
Because he's so...
he just wakes up alone at the Faded Gate.
He has 2 rooms with room service laid out. Nobody shows up the entire evening.
Yeah. Did I get ditched?
I mean, we didn't ditch you. You left us. Anyways,
I mean, technically, we arrived at Buka's and
Yeah.
then we left. He stayed.
true. Okay. Oh, Aeolus sees me, Heli, and Jaya walking out of Blackburn Watch, very rested and well fed.
Oh, I'm happy someone had sleep.
Jaya, just a point of order. Do you take Felthrall's rod of respite when you leave, or do you leave it activated in Siegfried's room?
I don't think I would leave it. I think I would take it with me.
Yes,
Okay,
don't
so the
leave
library's
it.
closed. Okay, just wanted to check.
Well, it seems like no one met up with Dunnan, so we should probably go find him. But you needed something, Aeolus?
I wanted to apologize to Aya.
What for?
Aeolus takes out the rod.
I'm
I
sure they need a review on
suspected I suspected that Kelpit was, for all intents and purposes, against us in some manner. And after almost a full restless night of just thinking, I owe you an apology. Because if I didn't trust Kelpip, I'd have no reason to trust you.
I mean, it sounds like you have all been through a lot, so it's reasonable to be suspicious. I don't hold that against you. What I've seen, and I think we've known each other for roughly 48 hours at this point. Like, there's a lot of shit going on, so like, yeah, it makes sense. Makes total sense. But I appreciate you apologizing and not just like cutting off a toe or finger to try and prevent otherwise.
Cutting off a toe or finger?
Yeah,
We
we
were-
had
we
a
were
whole
discussing-
conversation.
yeah,
about it.
We were doing some research. Anyways, we need to get
Why
Dunnan.
why not just pull some hemocraft? See if she has blood or if she's raspberry jam.
See, this is why we need you around when we research Aeolus.
We don't have
You did
Heliwrast.
research without me?
Of course we did. You left us alone.
Oh,
We learned it from you, Dad.
oh, I'm gonna go find Conan. Hopefully he has something to drink.
Also, afterwards, we're gonna go reintroduce Heli to Gogren, and see if that jogs her memory.
Yeah. You make it to the Faded Gates. We're done. And are you having breakfast?
Where the hell have you guys been?
Research.
Fucking
Did
around.
you just forget about me or what?
No, I
Yes.
thought you were drinking and doing your thing here. I didn't want to. I just whispered out like I didn't want to cockblock you, Dunnan.
Just give me a heads up next time. I was waiting. I ordered drinks for everybody. I thought we celebrate our comeback. I don't know. Whatever.
So,
So did you just drink our drinks?
Yes. You bet I did.
How do you feel?
As the usual. What do you mean?
is the pup with you?
Yes, it's
Oh,
guess
he,
on the floor.
he comes back. Siegfried goes and starts wrestling with the pup.
I have a question. Has the pup changed in any manner?
The pup
I guess
is not
it
made out of
did-
goo.
Sorry?
It's made out of goo.
The pup is
No!
not made out of goo.
Goo pup.
Like, oh, the pup came back from a con too. You have to cut its toe off.
No.
I didn't give it much thought, but I'll get back to you, okay? No.
Awesome.
Well, Dunnan, there's a lot we talked about, but I'm sure you already know some. But we're about to go talk to Gogren because Heli doesn't seem to remember him fully.
So it's...
I mean, it's not my fault.
No, he probably was eaten by that goo monster.
Yeah.
Tang chimes in. I can fix that. If you don't want to hurt him.
Now that you're
Yeah.
saying it, I also have troubles remembering something, but I can't pinpoint really what.
Well, I'm not sure we can.
You want me to fix Heliwrast?
Yes, please, Dang. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dunnan can stay broken, right?
I just want to
What?
say for the record, it's not Aeolus that she spent the diamond for.
No. But I don't know if she wanted to spend the seeds too, because I think that might help her as well. But I'm not exactly sure. Because I know she has a couple seeds on her.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the seeds. I can fix this. It's okay.
No, I
She
I
is
think
going to turn her 500 gold piece diamond to dust. And use 100 of it to cast Greater Restoration on Heliwrast.
Oh.
now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was real
Yes!
bad. It was real bad. You forgot of Heli. I was trying to be nice.
Yes. Oh god. Oh shit. Oh god, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Everything comes flooding back to you, Heliwrast.
Oh man.
You owe me
I
a
wouldn't wanna-
diamond.
I'll get you a million diamonds.
I
Thank
vow-
you.
I vow to you, Tang, that any diamond I find is immediately yours.
It was already.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let's still go talk to Gogren because I want to know if he suspects anything or what's. Because he's pretty wise. He's old.
He is, and he's. I think, based on how he treats you, Heli, I think I can trust him. I think we can all trust him.
Oh yeah. I'm not worried about that.
Let's go.
No.
Okay. Do.
Do all of you go?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not losing sight of the group again.
At least you know, Dunnan, that they can't teleport without you.
That is true.
You're a ride. You're a driver.
I should do
Yeah,
the
we can only
vanishing trick
do
on you.
Oh, okay. Just teleport halfway through the world. Just be like, haha.
Catch me if you can, guys.
Catch up. Have fun walking. Alright. You make your way to Gogrun's General Goods.
Taking our way.
Aeolus dies partway along the trip. It was.
Well, it's right across the.
30
It's right across the street from the
It
faded
was 30
gate.
feet. He tripped really hard. Okay.
He gets kicked by a mule.
Yeah. Tripped hard.
Heart attack.
Into the kick of a mule, where then he fell into a cotton gin. As you get to Gogrun's, and he's doing a bit of business. There's 3-4 people in the shop at the moment. Some people perusing. He's having a conversation with 2 of them. He seems to be taking down notes. He sort of sees the party of you walk in. Stores gets a bit more cramped when there's 11 people, not counting himself, inside. But he sort of gives you an eyebrow and a little wave and goes back to paying attention to his customer.
We'll just wait patiently until everybody kind of clears out.
About 15 minutes go by and he's working his way through his patrons. More have come in. I mean, it's a business day. He's doing business.
Maybe
Yeah.
you should ask him if he can take a break. Speak privately.
Or maybe
Or
we should just
can wait
come
until
back.
the evening when he closes.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's come back late in the afternoon and catch him when he's gone, when he's done.
Sure. But do we want to? Okay. About are we heading back after that?
You can try to find a 10-15 minute period to sort of steal him away for a moment.
Yeah.
Not from the shop. He's not leaving the shop, but
Yeah. I think he would take a break for you, Heli, if you would ask him.
I need
Yeah.
to ask a point of clarification, though. While speaking with Gogrun, are you going to speak about any of the things that have happened to you with Greklork, Ivilcast, any of that stuff? Do you have any intention to speak with him concerning any of that? Because that would be a
I
direct
haven't
violation of the orders that
Right? No,
Stormtroopers
I know.
just gave to Aeolus.
I would
And it's also in the public view.
I would want to be figuring out if he's ever been to Ikkad or any of these other places, whether or not in the future he could be trusted, or if we think he might have been overtaken.
Make a deception
Just check-
for me
yeah,
with
just-
advantage.
What was that?
Make a deception check for me with advantage, because you're being evasive in sort of questioning, and like you are hiding stuff.
Yeah.
You managed to steal him away for sort of 5 to 10 minutes. While one of his patrons that came in recently is sort of going through some of the different scraps of leather that he has on sale, looking for something that fits whatever their goal is. But sort of gives you, like, raises an eyebrow, sort of knowingly. Little one, you're not that good of a liar, but I know something's up. Just tell me when you're able to, but no, never been that far. Furthest I've traveled is into the pit to take supplies to my dad. That's about it.
Yeah.
Um,
And we've been on that trip with you, so
well, you did it for me. You know where it is.
yeah.
But
Okay, yeah, we
I can't leave the store
We're trying
for that
to-
long. And before then, I was helping Dad run the shop. Before he
Mhm.
passed away. He gives you a wink.
Yeah, this seems to be not that long ago, but yeah, we're can't talk. You figured that out, but we are onto something.
Rolled a natural 19 on his insight check.
Good for him.
Oh.
Okay, so
I tap Heli on the shoulder and just ask her, maybe you can ask him if he knows anyone else that's been to COD.
yeah, or you can ask him yourself. Do
I
we
just-
know?
And
I'd be like,
stop talking about me when you're directly in front of me.
I didn't know you wanted to talk to me. I'm sorry.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Few supplies come from there. It's if you order something special, you're looking at like 18 months to a year for it to be received. It's a long time to go without.
Yeah.
Usually, if I need something from there, or I think I might, I'll see if the ODMC has it, and if not, I'll figure something else out. Or if I want to sell something, every now and then, I'll just sell it to the ODMC so I get paid. I take a bit of a loss on what they would pay me, but I mean, I'd rather have the money sooner rather than wait a year and a half to 2 to get my better price. I've sent some barrels of mead there in the past. There's some type of shop that was buying them for a little bit. And then a few different clans, I think. But I haven't really needed to sell anything to the ODMC recently, in the last 2-3 years. Been able to move everything to locals, and I'd much rather sell to people here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And just, do you have any memories of interactions with Badiana or the apothecary known as Brohan T-Dance? Or did you know
T-Dance
them?
was the one that Tadel brought in from Armskirk, right?
Who took care of her daughter?
Uh,
Saint put with air quotes.
Never met her personally. She seemed nice from what I heard through the rumor mill. Badiana was a kind soul. Always very friendly. Had dinner a few times across the way. Nothing ever serious, mind you. But I mean, I knew her for close to 30 years. 32.
Do you know if she was working on anything recently or researching anything?
She was around the same time with me and Blackburn, but this was before you were around, Heli. But we didn't do a lot of jobs together. We did a couple. Researching anything? She spent some time abroad somewhere. I think she was traveling and acting as a representative to the different Daltha. She wasn't one of the. I mean, it was before I was either. She wasn't part of the council, so she had the ability to sort of travel and act as a liaison. I think Storm Surge also had the hope that she'd be bringing some more skills back to train up the new batch. Which was during your time in Blackburn, Heli. Badiana wasn't really there. I mean, you were a recruit. It's not like you're dealing with the captains all the time. But yeah, she'd been away for a while. She came back, and 8 months, 9 months later, I think we found out she had passed away. And it's sad. I mean, she was a friend.
That always didn't lie well with me that we haven't found out what happened to her. All I knew was that she was an arcanist. Do you know what she specialized in? What type of magic she used?
Oh, yeah. So she was primarily concerned with restorative magics. Ability of removing curses, mending wounds, and the like. Nath took over for her. So the new captain of on that side of Blackburn. He's good. But he does the whole other realm. He does the arcanist stuff. He doesn't mess with wounds and whatnot at all.
So Badiana was a healer. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
Okay.
To an extent, yeah. She liked to tinker with stuff, and she was always sort of testing out new ways to apply her magics. But she was pretty good.
Do you know what Storm Surge has done with their room? Has he mentioned that?
Badiana's?
Yes.
It's Nath's now.
Okay.
I mean, it's the captain's quarters for.
Yes, I imagine that's changed it, but I was wondering if she may have had any research notes or journals we can look through. We have a lot more information
You
now.
have to talk with Storm Surge, or
Yeah.
Nath. I mean, if she had stuff in the room, I mean, Nath would have had it cleaned. From my understanding, she passed away in there. Like,
You know if Nath has been to COD recently?
no clue. You'd have to ask him. I haven't spoken with him too much. A few interactions. He's come in for some basic stuff every now and then, but he's kind of aloof.
Do you know who came up with them in the watch?
A number of people. He was with Arvir's year.
Okay.
I think half of his time was spent with Arvir and Lori, and then another of his 2 years were spent with. He sort of scratches his head for a moment. I'm not sure. One moment, I'm pulling up my notes. If I could get my correct folder. Oh, and Buka.
Okay.
He spent some time with Bukas. I mean, I don't know if they worked together. This years back.
Thank you for
15 years ago or so.
Thank you for the information, Gogren.
Yeah. I mean, he's has been a remarkable rise for Nath. He's been pretty well regarded from what Stormy said.
Okay, well, Helly's going to go ahead and give him the biggest hug she's ever given him. Because she knows that she would have forgotten him. And I guess we'll go back over to the Fated Gate. Or do we have any more questions?
I don't know.
I think we need to go somewhere a little bit more private.
I mean, we haven't shown Jaya the Pinwood.
I'm thinking we should just crawl back into Jaya's library.
We can't use it for another 24 hours, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it was overnight.
No.
I discussed it
No,
already.
Yeah. So it ended after dawn, so it hasn't recharged yet.
Okay.
I say we just go to the
How
portal.
about we just meet at my house?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, do. I'm excited to see the refurbishment.
You've seen it.
I can't remember the last time I've been to Aeolus's house.
Okay. So you make your way to the group of you make your way to Aeolus's abode. There's notes scattered everywhere. And it's a hot mess, but other than that,
And then
you have
as-
relative privacy.
as everyone comes in, Aeolus like hurries them through. He'll shut the door, and the group of you see him run over to like a potion bottle, and he goes, "All right, just sit up against the wall." And he shakes the potion bottle, and he'll hang it so that the potion of revealing just erupts into bright light.
This is one of the ones from your bag, correct?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. What the fuck?
This is
What?
just to make sure there's nothing invisible watching us.
Ah. Okay.
And the group of you see like scratched into one of the wood planks is the vertical Venn diagram.
So this
Well,
lasts for 1 hour, and then its magic is expended.
Yeah. And then and then he'll just spend the 10 minutes and create another one. I asked everyone here because what's our next plan?
Siegfried, tell him what we found out.
Well,
Oh, first of all, I know who Gogron is now.
Oh, well, that's great.
That's been fixed.
Can
You
somebody
forgot
fill me
who
in
he
on-
was?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Unfortunate.
one of the things then the red goo monstrosity did to me.
I was focused on either trying to not be dead or thinking that the creature was a friend.
No, that's fine. And I didn't know who he was until everybody started saying, "Well, we need to talk to Gogron." I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Oh.
And then Tang healed me, greater restoration, so I didn't have to embarrass myself by saying, "Who are you? I'm supposed to know." You get the drill.
You should have let it happen. All right. So, what is our next move?
Hold up. What happened at Blackburn? Can somebody fill me in?
yes. Storm Surge thinks that the Order of Whelm may not have infiltrated just Akkad, but other Alpha, including ours. So he is about to start arresting and interrogating anyone he suspects has been to Akkad recently. So that information is need to know at the highest level done in.
Doesn't that include us too?
Well, he seems to trust us for the moment.
My, we're just breaking rules all over, aren't we?
And but at the very least, the Mad Dogs have been briefed about what's about to happen. Secondly, afterwards, me, Heli, and Jaya, after some discussion, we realized that we had access to a magic library that we haven't had access to before. So we tried to research into the name Breklork in our library, but we failed. But we're hoping to try that again.
Hold on. That magic library with the waiters?
Yes,
The ghost like
waiters.
fancy.
Yeah, that's okay. They didn't invite me either, Dunnan.
You stormed off.
Well, it was sorry
Anyway.
that you had to take the time to spend in your own home. It's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, so here's the thing.
And then I just hold up one more thing. I when talking to Gogran, I made some inquiries into Badiana, and she had been to Akkad, but I wanted to see if there was any way we could get access to her notes or research, but her office has been taken over by her successor. So, and I don't know if we can trust him or not. He's one of Arvir's batch. And that's all.
beautiful.
And what was the order from Storm Surge? What should we do? Lay low, go back to a card,
He said
investigate?
if we were going back to Akkad to deal with the Order of the Realm with as much prejudice as we could. I
It
think
means we get to destroy them.
exactly. He
So-
said
And what do we know about them? Is there any headquarters? I mean, we know that 3 people that Shia saw. One of that dwarf lady I also saw previously.
I plan to head to the library first.
and
Why exactly the library? Because it's closed off?
Why would you close off a library? Unless you're hiding something there.
Yeah, to restrict access to knowledge, I guess.
Well, if they were good at what they're doing, a group like us wouldn't have figured out everything we figured out.
wait. We should find what happened to Badiana in Akkad.
Yeah.
If there is even still something left of a card. I mean,
We went
we saw them
we went to do research on medicine, and we have a healer in our party, a skilled healer who just made apparent who she just healed about 24 members of the Akkad populace.
Hey, Spencer,
Yes.
would Badiana's body been laid to rest the same as everyone else's?
What body?
Would Aeolus have that knowledge?
There was no body.
Yeah, there was no body. It decayed, remember?
There was bones.
Right, but you could still try to make a skeleton,
At,
or
at the
was there
time of
not
Badiana's
enough?
passing, she was in good standing within the community and was not guilty or implicated in any type of crimes.
right?
As
Okay,
such, she would have received a preferential burial, which would have been to be set upon a burning pyre and pushed out into the bay.
Yes,
even though it was just bones, they are at the bottom of Elderthorn's Bay.
I
If anything.
yeah, I just wasn't aware if since she passed under questionable circumstances, if the watch would have basically put her in an evidence locker.
No. She would have received a preferential burial based on her standing at the time of the discovery of her passing.
And there were bones, so
Correct.
I think whatever Badiana found is what we need to find, Aeolus.
And it's probably in that library.
If she went to do medical research, she would have gone to that library.
Yeah.
She was, according to her reputation, she was extremely curious. If she was very skilled, better at magic than I am, perhaps she found out what was going on.
Well then, that's our plan then. Arm up. As best as we can.
Now you're talking. That's my language.
Well, seeing as you're back to your old self, I figured why not stretch a bit?
Oh yeah. So can we beat the bloody Mad Dogs again, or do we still have to keep up the rules with the trusted companions?
Oh no. If we're gonna go destroy the Order of Whelm, it's gonna be by the hands of the bloody Mad Dogs.
Fuck yeah.
And I hand a patch over to Jaya.
She already has
You wanna
one.
wear it?
I already give me one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
In the library where you were chilling.
Oh, okay. So
Just
I think we
There's
Put the
also
spend Teng's 5th level spell slot and then go fuck stuff up.
there's also
What we do best.
a few things that we should tackle in order. We need time to prepare and time to speak to Storm Surge, Arvir, whomever, before we leave.
Yeah.
And I really want to pick up my armor before we fuck up anything in the COD and get thrown out of the city forever.
Well, we still can teleport back, and I point to the helm. It still needs some time to recharge. So
It is recharged. You passed it on since you
Oh.
used it.
okay.
So
I was thinking to teleport us straight into the library. I mean, we have been there, so
we have. Which brings me to my next suggestion, is that we spend at least one more day here so that we can attempt to use all of our resources that we have available.
I mean, we're safe here.
I mean, you're down one single resource.
Well,
A
You're
library.
down a spell slot.
no. I wasn't
want
talking
armor.
about that. I was talking
He
about
wants his armor.
the library and to see what we can purchase from Kelpit and everyone else to prepare.
I don't think we have that much money right now.
yeah. I think you're
Anyways.
pretty broke.
Yeah, we pretty much used all our money on Kelpit before we left. And we
didn't-
haven't gotten any paying jobs since
Yeah,
then.
and we didn't take anything from that cave down there.
No.
You didn't.
Heli has 1 platinum, 2 gold, 335 silver, and 4 copper.
2 copper, 3 silver, 4 gold.
Aeolus has 1,700 silver pieces and 100 gold pieces.
Damn it, Aeolus.
I ransacked it right
You guys
before.
are relatively broke by comparison to where you've been previously.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we
you're
can still get
far
some
wealthier
potions
than
and
most
stuff.
of Elderthorn's citizens, but that's if he has potions. He might not have.
Yeah,
potions.
I mean, Aeolus, you can see what they have, I'm sure. I mean, but I'm kind of ready as I'm going to be.
I don't think we should mingle around very much. I mean, we left off as a city was burning,
Yeah,
or
that's all.
So-
And you're concerned about the sovereign being attacked or killed.
Yeah,
and the realm is on the move, obviously. So
I'm
time is of the essence.
I'm also interested to see how this city handles the aftermath of the attack. If that reveals anything.
Well,
Yeah. But just
If-
bear in mind, we disappeared in a puff of smoke right as that was ending, so we need to make sure that we don't appear to have been part of the fuckery.
Yep.
oh no, we were the cause of what happened.
Yep. Clearly,
We,
to blame.
doing whatever we did down there,
Yeah.
based off of everything that was repeated.
Oh, yeah.
And if we're ready now, then let's go.
Alright,
All in agreement?
yes.
Casting teleport.
Well, get around and I'll just go to the pub and let's just say, you're not gonna like this, but it has to be.
I'm gonna drink my mutagens.
Okay. Dunnan, what is your attempted teleport location?
Well, I guess into the library.
First of all,
Where?
I'm going to make.
Floor?
Oh, Dunnan's been on one floor of the library.
Yeah, where we
Yeah,
entered
that would be
last
that one.
time. Yeah.
I'd like all of you to roll me an intelligence saving throw to start with, please.
Every part of me above table is screaming at this, and I love it.
I'm going to wheel myself.
God damn it.
Okay.
Everybody gets a +5 on
Yep.
that.
I'm at a 19 now.
Heli fucked up.
Dunnan, roll me a d100, please.
Oh, shit.
82. The rest of the saves are perfectly acceptable. Dunnan, I
Isn't
need you
I-
to roll me 2d10, please. Okay. For the next 7 minutes, you are suffering from short-term madness of vivid hallucinations, which cause you to have disadvantage on all checks, all ability checks. Are made a disadvantage for the next 7 minutes, firstly.
Sweet.
Secondly, as the scraping sensation upon each of your consciousnesses tries to overtake you again, and Dunnan, you feel yourself succumb to it briefly as it rips through you, and the squeezing sensation, you feel the focus of your mind get lost, and you arrive off target at a different location than you had intended. Something prevented you from arriving at your intended destination. In that immediate instant, upon that brief realization that you're about to be overtaken by this brief bout of insanity, and you cannot get to where you are intending to go, where do you end up instead?
In direction a card or
You pick a location. Where do you attempt to direct the party instead?
oh Jesus. I guess Crypt, probably. Most
Okay.
likely. Because when he arrived at Ellerson, he thought, maybe we should visit Crypt at some time. Sometime
Crypt it
soon.
is. With that strange squeezing sensation that all of you are familiar with from the teleportation. That brief panic ensues in each of your minds as it takes longer than you're used to. And then you find your feet on solid sandstone, a solid sandstone floor. Smells of spices, small bits of revelry, and you find yourselves in the caravansary that is run by Yerol in Urcrypt. And Dunnan,
What
you're
happened?
afflicted by this brief bit of madness. And
Yes,
we'll pick up there next session.
Danan just starts giggling and laughing and holding his head.
That